Tonight on UCentral News, the federal government could shut down Friday night due to lack of funding. CNN's Amy Kiley has more. And how about this sunny weather? Gwyneth Duncan will let us know if that's going to stick around. And the Thunder had a tough loss yesterday. Luke Underwood has all of the details.
I'm Valerie Scott, and I've got your social media news. Stay tuned to find out which former First Lady will be starting her own podcast and what early 2000s game show will be streaming on Prime Video.
All that and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Abby Avers.
And I'm Shanice Hopkins. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
In a significant escalation of trade tensions, President Donald Trump announced today that he will double his planned tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from Canada. The move, which increases tariffs from 25% to 50%, comes as a direct response to Ontario's recent price hike on electricity sold to the United States. In response, Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced the removal of the surcharge on electricity sold to the U.S. Ford expressed confidence that President Trump would also pull back on the steel and aluminum tariffs, stating, quote, "He has to bounce it off the president, but I'm pretty confident he will pull back," end quote. He added that Ontario would not back down entirely, but engage in constructive conversation.
The federal government only has enough funding to stay open until about 11:59 Eastern Time Friday night. Come Saturday, it will shut down unless Congress acts quickly. To prevent a shutdown, House Republicans want to vote on a spending plan as early as today. CNN's Amy Kiley reports passing it could come down to a single vote.
The CR will pass.
The House could vote today on a continuing resolution to keep the government open past Friday's deadline. The GOP bill provides funding through the end of the fiscal year. It cuts about $13 billion in domestic spending, and it adds money for defense and for immigration and customs enforcement.
No one wants to shut the government down, and we are governing, doing the responsible thing as Republicans.
House Democrats say they'll be united in opposing the plan. They're pushing their own CR that does not include the Republican cuts.
And nobody wants the government to shut down. It's harmful to the people we represent. But at the same time, they need to come back to the table and do something reasonable.
Without Democrats, Johnson could only lose one Republican vote. Representative Thomas Massey says he opposes the GOP plan. A few other House Republicans appear to be up in the air.
I would like us to go back to pre-COVID level spendings, but I realize that we don't have the guts to do that either.
A source says Vice President J.D. Vance is meeting with House Republicans this morning to advocate for the bill. Johnson says President Donald Trump has been speaking with members too. If the House does pass the CR, getting it through the Senate could be even harder. That would require Democratic support.
It's going to be up to Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats to do the right thing.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A shutdown could force essential government employees to work without pay and furlough others. It would disrupt airport security, border crossings, national parks, and more.
Governor Kevin Stitt has announced the official launch of the Oklahoma Division of Government Efficiency website, a new portal designed to give Oklahomans better insight into how state resources are being managed. The website provides access to state agency workforce data and efficiency initiatives. According to Stitt, it is aimed at cutting government waste, saving tax dollars, and improving overall state operations. Stitt also said, quote, "Transparency and accountability are key to making Oklahoma a top 10 state by launching Doge OK. We're giving Oklahomans a clearer picture of how their government operates and ensuring taxpayer dollars are used wisely." First introduced in Stitt's State of the State address in February, Doge OK builds on previous efficiency efforts and will submit its first report by March 31st. The report will outline agency budget findings, fiscal reform recommendations, and strategies to streamline government spending.
Spring Forward happened over the weekend, and here in Oklahoma, it seems like we're feeling those effects. Let's toss it to Gwyneth for our first look at weather.
Thank you guys. And looking outside right now, we really aren't seeing much, but we do have this cold front that's going to move across our state by tomorrow night. You're going to want to keep an eye on that. But as we look outside right now, it's feeling great. It's looking great. It's sunny. It's 80 degrees. That UV is decently high, so you could get a tan while you're out there. Our winds are pretty high as well, though. We're sitting at south winds coming in as high as 24 miles per hour, and our humidity isn't bad at all because of all that wind just pushing all the humidity around. So it feels like a great, wonderful day. As we go into Friday, though, we have a strong dry line that's going to be moving across our state, bringing high winds. We're expected to see as high as 55 mile per hour winds. That is going to bring some dry air, pushing that moisture north, and we're definitely going to be able to feel that by Friday. You'll definitely tell when those winds really kick up as that dry line moves across our state. As we look ahead, we have winds switching to north tomorrow night. That's only going to change the temperature slightly. You're really not even going to be able to notice. You'll just notice that the winds get a little bit chillier than they were expected before. We do have an elevated fire risk due to the high winds we will see Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a wind weather advisory as we go into Friday. And we do have a small cold front coming in Saturday. That'll bring the temperatures down just a little bit into the mid 60s, but then those temperatures will hike back up into spring break, and then it'll drop back down to the 60s again. So spring break is going to be nice, but it'll drop down quite a bit, but that sun's still going to be out. I'll give you that full forecast as we go later into the show, but for now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. The Oklahoma Supreme Court has ordered a temporary halt on efforts to purchase thousands of Bibles for public school classrooms. The ruling grants a request from the Oklahoma Office of Management and Enterprise Service to pause all work related to Bible purchases while legal challenges continue. State Superintendent Ryan Walters had issued multiple requests for proposals to buy 55,000 Bibles, but those efforts are now on hold. This comes after Walters announced a new partnership with country music singer Lee Greenwood to seek donations for $59.99 leather-bound God Bless the USA Bibles after lawmakers rejected his $3 million funding request, the Bibles endorsed by President Donald Trump. The court also partially granted a request to delay the Biblical Character Instruction Program, blocking further contract work but stopping short of a full injunction on the state's broader Bible education mandate. More legal decisions are expected to come in the coming months.
The Oklahoma State Department of Health, OSDH, has reported 2 cases of measles in Oklahoma. The OSDH reported that both individuals took proper precautions by staying home and avoiding public places during their contagious period. OSDH emphasizes that measles can be prevented through the MMR vaccine, which is about 97% effective after 2 doses. Measles symptoms can include high fever, cough, runny nose, watery eyes, and a red blotchy rash that typically starts on the face and spreads to the body. Symptoms can appear 7 to 14 days after exposure, but may take as long as 21. For those who have been exposed to measles and are not immune, OSDH recommends consulting a healthcare provider to discuss post-exposure options, avoiding public places for 21 days, and staying home for 5 days after the rash appears. Individuals should also call ahead to their healthcare provider to limit the risk of spreading the virus. With the spring season quickly approaching, it's finally starting to feel that way with the warmer weather.
That's right. Gwyneth Duncan will have your full look at weather when we come back.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum.
This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Good afternoon and welcome back, Broncos. Looking outside right now, it's feeling like a sunny day. It's looking like a sunny day, and our temperatures are pretty nice as well. We're sitting at 80 degrees. It's fair but breezy out there because of that pretty strong south wind we're getting. It's as high as 24 miles per hour, and you can definitely tell when you step outside, but it is pretty much a perfect day out there. I mean, it feels great to just walk outside, and across the state, it's the same. We're looking at upper 70s into 80s, 71 in Guyman, 83 in Tulsa. Pretty much everywhere in the state right now is feeling it pretty good. As we go into tonight, those temperatures aren't going to drop as much. We're going to be sitting at 55 degrees and clear. Overall, a really good night because those south winds are also going to be pretty light, and we are going to see much humidity with that. Our dew point's going to be at 40, so really no risk of fog as well. A really nice night ahead of us. As we look across the state, we're looking at mid to upper 40s, 45 degrees in OKC, 34 in Guyman, 50 in Tulsa. It's going to be a pretty nice night tonight, but as we go into tomorrow, starting off the day, we are going to have a wind chill. So as you step out your door at 7 a.m., you may be like, oh my God, it's 48 degrees, but actually it feels a lot colder than I thought it would. That's because we are going to start off with a wind chill at 45 degrees tomorrow, but it is going to be sunny, so that'll make up for it a bit. As we go to noon, those winds are going to kick up just a little. It's not going to be as bad as we saw today, but we're going to be at 10 mile per hour winds tomorrow at noon, and it's going to be 68 degrees. At noon, it's going to feel great. As we go to 7 p.m., 73, a little colder than what we felt today, but overall still pretty nice. And that is when our winds start to shift, is tomorrow. As we look at tomorrow, we're looking at 76 degrees in OKC, 73 in Guyman, a little colder than today, but still pretty nice, 81 in Tulsa, way nicer than below freezing, so we really can't complain. Tomorrow night, though, we do have a risk for some severe weather, not really any tornadic weather, but severe weather nonetheless in the lower parts of the state there. But really nothing in Edmond, nothing in OKC, a really slight chance for that to shift and hit us. So I really wouldn't be worried about that, but we still do have that risk for the eastern part of the state. You're going to want to keep an eye out if you live somewhere down there because you are expected to see some severe weather. As we look ahead, we are having a strong dry line moving through Friday. That will bring some elevated fire risk. As you see, that's going to bring some moisture up through the east and north through our state as that dry line pushes through. That's really just expected to bring some pretty high winds and some fire risks as we look at that. As you can see, fire risks, pretty high winds, bringing just risks for things like that to occur, especially since the temperature is going to be in the 70s. We are going to see the winds switch Wednesday to Thursday from south to north, so that's what's really making our temperatures drop a little bit, but kind of go up a little bit. And as we go into next week, we are going to see Monday, it's going to rise up a bit into spring break, so that'll be nice. Monday, Tuesday, it's going to start to rise, and then it'll dip down a little bit. Shanice, Abby, do you have any spring break plans? Because I know we are all ready for spring break.
I am absolutely ready. I'm really just ready to take in the warm weather finally. I think I'm going to just use spring break to have a rest and just maybe sunbathe a little bit. What about you?
Yeah, same. Like, I'm going to go to the lake and just
Yes.
probably lay there. I mean, I can't get in, but Abby.
Right.
I don't really have much plans this spring break, but I'm probably going to take my dog on more than a few walks.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Gwyneth. Coming up, find out which social media platform had a mass outage.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Hello Broncos, I'm Valerie Scott and I've got your social media news for tonight. The social media platform X was hit by outages yesterday. According to the outage tracking site Down Detector, the problems began early in the morning. Around 20,000 users reported problems. The issues temporarily died down before nearly 40,000 users reported outages later in the day. The outage appeared to be global, with many users saying on Down Detector the app wouldn't load. X owner Elon Musk claimed the platform was hit by a massive cyber attack. According to the New York State Police, former talk show host Wendy Williams was taken to the New York hospital for evaluation on Monday. NYPD has confirmed that officers conducted a wellness check on Williams at her senior living facility where she's been staying. Williams has a court-appointed guardian that has been in charge of both her finances and her health since May of 2022. In recent months, the 60-year-old has been in an ongoing legal battle to end the conservatorship. In 2023, Williams' guardian revealed that she has been diagnosed with dementia. However, in recent months, Williams has disputed the diagnosis. On the Breakfast Club radio show in January, Williams says she feels like she is living in a prison at the assisted living facility. Former First Lady Michelle Obama is jumping back into the podcast world. According to her production company, the podcast will be called IMO, short for In My Opinion. She'll host the podcast with her older brother, basketball executive Craig Robertson. Obama says they are launching the podcast to allow people to have, quote, thoughtful conversations about life. Some of the guests expected on the podcast will include director Tyler Perry and actor Seth Rogen. The first 2 episodes will be released tomorrow on Spotify. The popular TV show that helped thrust Donald Trump into the national spotlight is now streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime. Amazon is set to stream the first 7 seasons of The Apprentice. The reality show debuted in 2004 and aired around 200 episodes in the U.S. The first season hit the platform on Monday. A new season will be added every week. President Trump will likely see a profit as he also served as the show's executive producer. Prime Video did not respond to how much Trump stands to make in the deal. Rapper Doechii has been named Billboard 2025 Woman of the Year. Doechii has skyrocketed in her popularity with her hits No Scrub and Denial is a River. In January, she won her first Grammy for her 2024 album, Alligator Bites Never Heal, in the Best Rap Album category. That made her the 3rd woman in the award show history to win the title. I wonder what else in store she has in store for our fans. That's all I have for you tonight, Broncos. Abby, Shanice, back to you.
Thanks, Valerie. What was the outcome of last night's Thunder game?
And when does the UCO baseball team play next? Luke Underwood will have more after the break.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet, 100 feet, the length of a football field?
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hello, Bronco Nation. I am Luke Underwood. Let's get straight into your Tuesday sports stories. The UCO wrestling team are preparing for the NCAA Division II Wrestling Championships. The two-time defending champion Broncos are sending 6 wrestlers to state this year, with Stud Morris at 125 pounds, Peter Roll at 133 pounds, Dylan Brown at 149 pounds, Gabe Johnson at 157 pounds, Hunter Jump at 165 pounds, and Garrett Wells at 184 pounds. The Broncos, who are currently ranked number 3 in the MAP polls, will be wrestling this Friday starting at 11 a.m. UCO baseball was in action last weekend, with the Broncos facing Pittsburgh State in 3 separate games that came out in Bronco victory. The Broncos are currently 15-5 on the season with a 6-3 score in the conference. Central Oklahoma Broncos are currently playing the Arkansas Tech Wonder Boys. The game is currently 7-5 in favor for Arkansas Tech. In the bottom of the second, Joe Riccio took one home for the Broncos. In the top of the fourth, the Golden Boys added 7 onto the score. In the bottom of the fifth, Grant Randall added another one on for the Chos, making it 7-2. Then Robertson homered to right center, gaining 3 RBI, which brought the score to 7-5. The game is currently in the top of the 6th. The UCO women's rowing team opened their season last weekend and showed positive results. Central Oklahoma took second in the varsity 4+ race, finishing in 7 minutes and 51 seconds, only behind Kansas State, who won with 7 minutes and 32 seconds. The Chos then returned later in the day for another second-place finish, this time in the V8+ race with a time of 7 minutes and 2 seconds, which was 12 seconds shy of Tulsa in first place. In the final race of the day, UCO had 2 boats racing the varsity 4+, with its A boat finishing in 3rd and its B boat finishing in 5th. Central Oklahoma will be back on the water next weekend with the Broncos hosting Creighton and Milwaukee School of Engineering on the Oklahoma River in OKC Saturday, March 15th. The Oklahoma City Thunder battled the Denver Nuggets for the second night in a row. This time, the Thunder unfortunately came up short against the Nuggets in a 140-point to 127-point loss. The game ultimately came down to 2 things: rebounds and shots landing. The Nuggets out-rebounded the Thunder, with Denver grabbing 43 in total and with OKC grabbing 37. As well, the Nuggets outshot the Thunder with better stats in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray combined for 69 points, with the Thunder's best scorer coming from Lou Dort with 26. The Oklahoma City Thunder will have to shake off that loss before tomorrow night, as the Thunder will be facing the Boston Celtics at 6:30 p.m. live from the TD Garden in Boston. That is all I have for you guys right now, so stay tuned to the baseball game, and back to Abby and Janice at the desk.
Thank you, Luke. The Department of Education is cracking down on anti-Semitism reports on college campuses. Find out which universities are being investigated.
And Gwyneth Dunkel will have your final look at your weather forecast. Stay with us.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Expanding horizons, making room for the new. The modern frontier is ready for you. There's more to discover, more fun to be found. Our city is rising, just look around. Attractions, adventures, excitement and thrills. Rooms of beauty and history where knowledge is filled. A convergence of cultures in spectacular places. Open skies, open minds, and wide open spaces. The modern frontier awaits you to embrace it.
Welcome back, Broncos. The Department of Education says it's now investigating 60 colleges and universities over anti-Semitism claims. That's up from the 5 it said it was investigating early last month. They include 6 of the 8 Ivy League universities, including Columbia and Harvard. On Monday, the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights sent letters to the colleges and universities warning them of possible consequences if they don't take adequate steps to protect Jewish students. The office points to Title IX of the Civil Rights Act. Under Title IX, institutions will not receive federal funding if they discriminate based off of race, color, or national origin. The announcement comes amid mounting pressure on university administrators to rein in pro-Palestinian demonstrations.
Let's go ahead and toss it over to Gwyneth Duncan for our last look at weather.
Thank you, guys. And looking at our forecast for tomorrow, we're going to start off pretty chilly with a wind chill. So we're going to be sitting at 45 degrees for our wind chill, but 48 degrees for the temperature. So it will be sunny. It won't be too bad, but you'll definitely be able to tell those winds are making it a little bit colder. As we go to noon, we are going to see those winds kick up just a little bit. Once again, not as bad as today, so don't worry. It's only going to be at 10 miles per hour and will rise to 73 degrees by the end of the day. As we look at our 7-day forecast for spring break, looking at next week, we are going to see those temperatures drop Saturday, Sunday, and then they'll begin to rise through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. As we look at next week, it is going to feel a lot better. We could see some really windy temperatures on Tuesday, so you're going to want to look out for that, and that's all I have for you guys for today. So Abby, Shanice.
Thank you, Gwyneth. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Abby Avers. Have a good night.
What are we supposed to do?